always talk about religion, blah blah blah. Just people and Judaism or Christianity or my life.
It got fixed. Just like that's the reason why it got fixed. Just like voting rights and all the other things. All of that stuff was unconstitutional from the jump. And that's why it had to be fixed.
And that's why when you start negotiating things like this, it is inevitably wielded against minority communities. Like, so you're just paving the way for them to do more diabolical shit to demographics that are marginalized. Like,
Can I just say one thing too?
it's insane.
You follow the law of the land in which you are on.
Can I just say one thing too? In Sharia, you follow the law of the land in which you are on.
You don't have to
You follow the laws of the land in which you are on. So we don't have to worry about.
And they don't even know that. That's crazy. Ain't it?
And also, it's important, if she's still in the comments, it's important that we make the distinction between what is culture and what is faith. When you are if you are a Muslim in America, or even in, let's say, Australia, or in somewhere in Europe,
It's different.
it's going to be different from if you are a Muslim in, let's say, in Saudi Arabia. There's a difference. People always they look at culture in certain Muslim countries. They do things that the extremists do, things that that are disgusting and vile. But that's more of a cultural thing. It's not a faith thing.
And it's extremists in every religion, right? There's extremists in Christianity too.
Correct. You could shake any religious text and some things will fall out of it, and you will be like, what the hell?
But this the thing, Miss Corey. I don't know if you was here, but I turned on my camera because I have my grandfather's Quran, and I'm a Christian, but I read the Quran sometimes just to have a separate reference for a personal issue I might be having, and I want to go and touch into like my base. And this is the thing, you're gonna argue something off of Google that you found that you think fits your narrative versus me reading it out of the actual book. And she was saying there's many different Qurans, yes, and there's many different Bibles. But if we can't talk about what's happening in other countries, but we can talk about what white nationalism, how they use Christianity historically in this country.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure she wouldn't want to have that conversation.
To justify slavery.
Yes.
And the basic principles of Christianity, right, are in a lot of religions, including Islam, right? The basic teachings of love and taking care of each other and stuff like that. That stuff is generally kind of the same in most true religions, right? So I mean, it's just crazy. It's just a way to demonize something different or another group that's different from you. That's all.
Right.
But
mega churches.
But my thing is too, we shouldn't even need religion, Christianity, anything to know right from wrong. She was saying, what she's saying was just. That's the only reason why I said something. It was just ludicrous. Sister, did you read the Constitution? Have you read it? And you know she hadn't read it. I mean, just keep it real. We know that.
MAGA has been unusually more unhinged lately since in the last, recently when I'm online, they seem more unhinged than normal.
Well, it's these blaggers for me. I'm sorry, but when you got black people up here, like, just
that's what I don't understand.
I do not understand it, Miss Corey, for the life of me.
I think during the C-19, the isolation has sent so many people down a rabbit hole and fried their brains. because
You know,
it
my
just seems
mom
like
said
after
the
we
same
came out of
thing.
C-19, that's when everybody just lost their minds. I think it's the isolation,
I could
the
understand
lockdown.
a lot of people went into rabbit holes that didn't quite come out the same.
Yes, they didn't come out the same.
Because you know, it's, when you said that, it made me think. It made me realize that it's a lot of men who are like hurt out here. I didn't realize, but I guess you know, it's just so weird to be like feel rejected by women and then a harbor on the women you don't want. Like I never seen anything like that. I was like, wow, that was
Seen
cool.
a lot of that too.
But host, what about the men
I
that
don't even
call
go in
Trump
those
daddy?
rooms.
I think
The men that run around here calling
I
Trump
don't,
daddy.
Victoria.
That's
I'm
true.
I'm not defending myself
I
against a
think that's
man.
why but lovely, like when you say black, I think that's why it's a percentage of men who are black men who are black because they've been rejected by black women. And Trump is kind of that you know what I'm saying, that hammer for that retribution. Or you know what I'm saying? He's that retribution to them. That's that's why I vote for this man to get back at y'all in this.
Right, the misogyny is
Yeah,
true.
they didn't grow up like us, right? When we came up, it was no social media, right? So you had to go and speak to a girl. You had to talk to them. You had to call them on the phone. You had to do things that you know they're on social media, right? Which is taking a lot of the face-to-face stuff, you know, out of the equation, right? So they're not even approaching women the way we used to, right? So you know they don't know how to appeal to them, and they didn't have to learn it the hard way. Remember, because you know we had to accept rejection, right? We played the number game, right? You know, you ask 10, all you need is 1, right? They don't know nothing about that.
I still remember I ain't gonna say her name rejected me in high school and having to walk past her every day. Like
That rejection built character.
believe it or not.
So
Builds
sitting up all
character.
night.
Even I was rejected. Believe it or not.
Well, you know,
I
the
believe
thing about
it.
rejection, if you're confident and you're secure, I mean, it just is what it is. It's a fact of life. Insecure people are dangerous.
Drop Miss C for the panel. No, I'm messing with you.
They can't stand L's.
In that
L's
galaxy.
build character, right? L's build character. You gain resiliency
He said,
from L's. You learn from them, right? And they don't understand that. They can't stand L's. L's is part of the whole process.
Absolutely.
You need L's to get to the W's.
Well, damn, Black MAGA should be great here. They taking plenty of L's. Shit.
I guess they're willing to overlook his racism just so they can get back at women and they think he's going to make him prosperous. And they're, I don't know how, taking all our money.
Have y'all
You
seen
know, their biggest talking point is the Democrats were racist. And I'm like, well, what are the Republicans now? They don't, I'm going to tell you, I don't want to talk to people that don't know it was an ideology switch anyway. Like, that's where the conversation really ends for me.
It's definitely a cult. I mean, it's a cult.
They won't acknowledge that at
I had
all.
to
It's
run it down the
crazy.
other day, didn't I, Con?
My favorite is when they bring up.
We don't
Malcolm
have to
X
go
speech
back to the
about
1960s. We could look at what's going on today. Gerrymandering districts of our people.
You've seen that report on here where they
Gutted the Voter Rights Act, coming out against DEI after DEI started working for us.
I used to have a saying during the campaign on these lives. I would say that I'm not saying that Trump is racist, but racists support him overwhelmingly.
Well, they're in his administration.
He is. You know why he is? He did that last statement he made was white people really, during the civil rights, white people really got robbed. You know, were really treated very poorly. Oh, come on, dude.
He's flat out racist. And that's been demonstrated throughout his entire life.
Yes.
I think right now, though, I think it's even bigger than race. I think they have this idea that our progression is leading to them digressing. And I think that's why they're coming out so full force against these programs, these initiatives that was building like equity within our community, investments in our community. Because they think that it's costing them something.
And I have talked to people that have literally said that when I ask on my panels, you know, when have Black or Indigenous people had the power to oppress white people? I've literally heard people say, oh, well, the Voting Rights Act. Like, like, what?
And in
Civil rights?
through
Really?
oppression, white people have forced black people to be like exemplary. You know what I mean? And now they can't compete. So it's like they think they've been like they've been told this lie. This white man is who I'm talking about in general. White women, don't get me wrong, definitely the right hand of racism and the patriarchy. But it's like they've been told that they're owed something. Like they're supposed to sit atop this hierarchy, and they feel like they've been dethroned from it. But the people who are doing this, the government, their interests are not tied to race really, or country, any of that. They just have tapped into white resentment to garner group thought.
To believe shit. Right, but our young people, right, are so ready to believe shit, but they're not interested in actually doing the research and learning the truth about it. They just pass on what they're being told, and they're being fed this information by the same people that don't accept it, and they don't realize that.
Women didn't have any rights. But when we go back to the Constitution, though, we know there was flaws. Women didn't have any rights. People of color didn't have any rights. Serving in the military, that's still not enough. But the whole problem is, if it was written right in the beginning, we wouldn't be having these discussions. They didn't do that because they know people of color would have been running the country yet again. And they don't want that. And we not the mean, evil people they say we are. We wouldn't even bother them. We just want to be left the hell alone and live our lives. That's it. That's it. Just that simple. Nothing else.
You just want to be able to make a living, have a family, and be left the hell alone. Jesus. Just like all the immigrants just want to have a better life.
It seems like everybody. It seems like every American, no matter what side you on, should like have those fundamentals at their core. Like, because I'm sure even on the MAGA side, they have to want to have security, be able to raise their family, you know what I'm saying, get good jobs, be able to retire, like those basic fundamentals. But it seems like it's like us or them all the time. We can't like compromise. And then even when we do try and compromise, we're taking advantage of. And then when, you know what I'm saying, we call them out, now we're the bad. It's weird, man. It's really weird.
I'm not saying we're the like, black people, but we never make
I'm not saying we're the bad people, but we never make them recognize their flaws. We just say, you know what? Oh, we know you broke that lamp. We just gonna sweep it up under the rug. We gonna clean it up, and don't you worry about it this time. And then it happens again, and like they know, like okay, they gonna clean up our mess up. And that's what I mean. Just in my lifetime, that's what I've seen.
What do you think? Did you guys see that New York Times story where how they got all these people embedded in the government to cheat during the election?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty scary. So they'll intimidate people at the polls, make sure that a lot of people can't vote. I mean, it already happened in Texas. People got turned away.
I've been hearing about Texas happening. I seen a lady, she had her passport, and she said, I'm voting before I leave here.
I'm in H-Town, so I know about it.
I got my divorce papers, my marriage papers, and my passport. So I'm taking it all when I go to vote.
Let me ask you
ICE at polling stations and stuff like that. That's how Russia took Crimea. Well, we had an election. Yeah, with soldiers at gunpoint.
Exactly. That's what I think. That's what's going to happen again.
It's an age-old strategy, right? This manufactured race hierarchy to keep a class hierarchy among white people, so that they will continue to cut their nose off to spite their face.
Right.
And they don't have to activate the National Guard now. They got them in almost every state already on patrol. They've been here in Memphis for the past 6 months. They said they're supposed to leave in November.
Those are red state governors complying in advance.
But what I'm saying is, though, if something happens, they're already here. I mean, they don't have to do anything.
A question about Memphis: has the National Guard had an impact? You think?
Yeah, it's still the same. Everything's still because they really can't. Because they can't do.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Because they can't do anything. Really, they just I don't know, show a force.
Memphis taking tanks from the guard.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
They're not making any money on their jobs, and they're not getting paid by the military. They keep them just under the amount they get paid.
It's crazy. Yeah.
You said they keep them under a month that they're getting paid for to do that?
Yes.
Yeah, so it keeps them like in a reserve status, sort of like a short
Yeah,
term.
They're short, so they're not making any money. They're away from their family. They're not making any money. They're not doing their regular
Oh, this
job.
is just part of they're trying to say this is just part of their active duty, but they just give them enough hours so they don't, I guess, go
It's just
overtime.
like a job.
It's like
not giving
employers
you
that give you
full-time
29 hours so they don't have
hours.
to pay for your health care.
That first city they went into, they didn't even have a place for them to stay.
Yeah, LA, yeah, I remember it.
Shit together.
And they living in hotels though. That's the crazy thing about it. They living in the Marriott, Holiday, all the big name hotels. So who's paying for that? We are.
We are.
It's
like
we paying for that. It's crazy.
To do the board of peace.
The way that they're operating right now is like they're trying to be as clever as they can legally to sidestep with whatever they can, and then if they can't, they just absolutely violate the law.
You know, when they really screwed up when they fired all those attorneys, because those are the best of the best. You know, the attorneys from the government. Now they've got all these B attorneys, and that's why the courts don't like them. You know, because they aren't good lawyers. They're good attorneys.
Yeah, anybody still working for this administration, and number one is incompetent. Number two should be disbarred.
Definitely.
And Bun is a prime example.
Boy, that hearing of hers was just a disgrace, wasn't it? How embarrassing. I wish they would have called her out a lot more. I wish they would have laughed at her and said, "Why are you saying that? That wasn't the question. Why are you going to that subject?" That's what I would have really.
Dow Jones is 50,000.
That was crazy.
But I mean, why
no, they started laughing at her, and they was like, "What does the Dow have to do with anything?" And Pam Bondi her seat has nothing to do with economic policy.
Yeah, why didn't they say that to her? You know, what does that have to do with what we're talking about?
I know that's not funny.
They tried to.
Kate Joe.
Kate Joe.
K-A-T.
Okay.
J-O.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
on.
I mean, you know, it's one thing that
No,
the
no,
host
no, no.
calls
After
the
I say what I'm gonna
shots.
say, I'm gonna be like, don't fuck with Rosie ever again. If she come in your live, you better treat her right, because I'm gonna hunt you down, motherfucker.
No, the thing is, you know, she was doubting my honesty. She was doubting that I was a Democrat. She thought I was a MAGA. I mean, just because you're a host doesn't mean you have to walk over people that are trying to be nice. You know what I mean?